We're now live. Happy Monday. Happy new week to everybody out there. This is Dre All Day coming to you. Yes, this is happening live right now. If you're watching this on replay, it isn't live. But if you're watching the live stream on Instagram, yes, this is live. This is happening right now. It is really taking place. So as everybody comes in, I'm gonna make sure we post our topic here so everybody know what we're talking about here today. Hope everybody had a great weekend and a great start to your week. We are here in the last full week of August. And let's do what we got to do. Facebook, what's going on? If you're checking in on Facebook or you're watching the replay on Facebook, go ahead and leave a comment, shout yourself out, or you can say something about the material once I get into it. If you're watching this on Instagram live right now, you shout yourself out in the comment section. I'll shout you out, and I'm going to get started in like 30 seconds. My name is Dre Baldwin. For those of you who don't know me, this is Work on Your Game University. You are officially taking a free class at Work on Your Game University. I'm going to tell you how you can get these classes every single day by the time we get to the end of this. But today's topic, you see what it is, how to hustle without being thirsty. So any of y'all want to learn how to hustle, get yourself out there, get your name out there, get your work out there, but you don't want to be trying too hard. You don't want to look too eager, too desperate, but you still got things that you need to get done. Like you still got to do what you got to do. That's what we're going to talk about here today. I like my lighting over here on IG. All right, that's a little bit better. All right, so for those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete, author of 27 books, host of Daily Masterclass. I'm Professor Emeritus at Work on Your Game University. That's the university that I created, and that's a whole what do they call it, curriculum that I made up, and we actually going to be offering y'all something very soon and before the end of this year that we putting together right now when it comes to Work on Your Game University, even better than anything you know about right now. Trust me, we working on it. But this whole philosophy right here is all about, actually tell you a little bit more about me. I've done 4 TED Talks. I'm a coach, consultant, speaker, daily audio class creator. I got 7,000 videos on YouTube. I've written about 7,000 articles over the last 15 years. I've created more content than anybody you can name. And I'm telling you that not to impress you, but to impress upon you. You want to learn from me, I got plenty of material out there. All you got to do is go grab it. The material is out there. All you got to do is go get it, and you can use it as you want to use it. But the material is out there. The material is available for anybody who wants to get better, anybody who wants to take your game to another level. So as y'all checking in, today, this whole Work on Your Game philosophy is all about taking the mentality it takes to get into the top 1% of what you did, which is what I did in the sports world, and showing you how to take that same mentality and apply it in your business world, in your life every single day, and everything that you do. So what we're talking about here today is how to hustle without being thirsty. So if you're trying to grind and get on and get yourself out and get your name out, but you don't want to look like you're trying too hard, you don't want to put people off because you like hawking them and you calling them all the time or texting all the time, or you just doing things to get people to just ignore you or get away from you because you're just being a little bit too extra. I'm going to tell you how to hustle without being thirsty, because this topic exists because sometimes people go a little bit too hard. They're trying a little bit too hard to get attention, and it's not actually working, even though they want to get the attention and they have positive intentions. If you are doing it the wrong way, you're going to push people away and not get the results that you want. And at the same time, some people are trying to protect their egos. You got things that you want to get done, but you don't want to look like you're trying too hard. You want to look cool, but at the same time, get done what you want to get done. And you think, some people may tell you, well, stop trying to look cool and just get done what you got to get done. But listen, in life, there's an art and there's a science to it. And there's a style to how you do things. How you do things matters just as much as what you do. So getting things done, of course, is important, but it's how you get things done as well. It's having that flair, having that style. So what if you were able to get a whole lot of things done, but at the same time, you didn't have to look like you were trying too hard. You didn't have to look like you were over eager. You didn't have to look like that thirsty individual who was just like so desperate that you were pushing people away from you. Would you like to know how to do that? If you're interested in knowing how to do that, then let me know. Make sure you tap the screen if you're watching on IG. I don't know if they got that on Facebook. If they got that on Facebook, you can do it there too. But that's what we're going to talk about here today, how to hustle without actually being thirsty. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it in 3 points here today. The number one thing you have to do to hustle without being thirsty is you have to learn how to be professionally annoying. What's good, Ryan and Sealord G1 who came in with the comments there, ARB14 was going on. So number one thing you got to learn how to do is be professionally annoying. I heard a friend of mine say this years ago. This is probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I heard her talking about this, and people were asking her what's her mentality around selling. She was talking how she was just a really good salesperson. The guy asked her, well, how'd you become a good salesperson? She said, well, I learned how to be professionally annoying. And what that means is you're going to stay on top of people, you're going to be persistent, and you're going to keep going at them until you get what it is that you came to get. So it's annoying in a way because you're not going to let them leave, you're not going to let them blow you off, and you're not going to leave them alone. But at the same time, you're going to do it in a professional way. So what does it mean to be professionally annoying? It means when you want something with someone, yes, of course you follow up. Yes, you stay on top of it. Yes, you may have to repeat yourself. Yes, you have to come at them from different angles. But being professional and being annoying means you have a bag of tricks. You got a bag. Any of you watch basketball, you know when a player starts doing all kinds of moves and it looks really nice and they're getting the job done, scoring points, people say, well, that player's in his bag. What does in his bag mean? It means they're using different techniques and different skills and different abilities to get to their opportunity, to get to, in basketball, that could be scoring points. In sales, being in your bag means using different techniques to get to the sale, different techniques to follow up with your prospect, to follow up with the company you're trying to sell with this person you're trying to close this deal with this prospect you're trying to get them to sign up for this membership, you're trying to get them this offer, you're trying to get them to buy this product, coming at them from different ways, in ways that they are always interested in hearing what you're going to say. They're answering your calls, they're responding to your messages. So I'm not talking about being annoying in that you keep texting somebody and they're not replying, you just keep texting. All right, that's amateur annoying. I'm not talking about just calling someone, they're not returning any of your calls, they're not responding to your voicemails, but you just keep calling them, leaving the same message every single time. That's amateur stuff. All right, amateurs just do the same thing over and over and over again and hope that the results will change. Professionals want the results to change, and they are doing similar things, but they don't do the exact same thing over and over. What professionals do is they look for different angles and different approaches to get the exact same thing done. So they find different approaches. So a professional will have 20 different ways they can leave a voicemail with somebody they're trying to sell to. A professional will have 15 different ways they can close a sale. So they try their first close and the prospect sitting in front of them says, no, I'm not going to buy this car. And then they got a different way of approaching them to try to get them to buy the car. They'll try all 15 of their approaches, and then they'll create a new approach by weaving in a couple of those 15 and make a brand new one. And they'll keep trying until they're able to close that prospect to make that sale. So being professionally annoying means you have to have a bag full of tricks. And I don't mean actual tricking anybody, but a bag of tricks, metaphorically speaking, for getting to the outcome that you want to get to. Whereas opposed to the amateur person who is being annoying, who only has one way of getting it, so they just keep trying the same thing over and over again, which is clearly not working, but they have no other option, so they just keep doing the same thing. All right, so you got to ask yourself, or decide rather, do you want to be a amateur or do you want to be a professional when it comes to hustling? All right, amateur hustlers only have one or two ways of getting it done. Professionals got 1,000 different ways of getting things done, and if those 1,000 don't work, they come up with another 1,000. That's what makes them professionals. Point number 2, the topic here today is how to hustle without being thirsty. Number 2 thing you got to do is work on your game. How can you be a professional hustler and get things done and not look thirsty if you're not putting the time in to figure out, all right, how's another way that I could have approached this prospect? You work at the Nissan dealership or the Tesla or the Mercedes-Benz dealership, and you weren't able to close that last customer. You knew that they wanted the car, but you just couldn't get them to say yes to the offer that you were making them, and they leave. Now you got to ask yourself, all right, where did I go wrong in that conversation? Where did I mess up? Where did I not make the right offer? Where did I not emphasize the benefits of this product well enough? Where did I not do things the right way? Where could I have learned? What kind of closes could I have used that I didn't use there? You go to one of your coworkers who works in the same room, in the same office, and ask them, all right, here's what happened in this transaction. They ended up saying no. What would you have said in that situation? I said this, and that didn't work. What would you have said? All right, they asked this question. Here's how I answered it. How would you have answered that question? This is all part of working on your game. When things don't work for you in a certain way, you need to not just blow it off, not just say, well, man, sometimes things just don't work, even though that's true. Not just say, well, maybe some customers don't have money, even though sometimes that can be true. You got to ask yourself, what could I, as a professional, what could I have done differently that would have created a different outcome? This is what a professional does anytime things do not work in their favor. A basketball player misses a whole bunch of shots in a game. They don't just say, well, I just had a bad game, I'll make more in the next game. Maybe they will make more in the next game. But they also need to find out if they're a serious professional. Because they're professionals, and then you got serious professionals. A serious professional is going to look at the film of that game, and they're going to find out why they were missing all those shots. Like, okay, I know I shot 1,000 of those in practice, so there's no reason why I can't make a few of them in the game. Why am I missing all these shots? A true professional is going to find out why things are happening and get to the bottom of it, and then work on their game based on their observations so they know how they can improve and get better next time. So understand that when I say work on your game, whenever you hear me saying that phrase or you see it here on my hat or on my book, work on your game does not just mean put out a whole bunch of effort and just to keep working until you're sweating and just keep doing it and then brag about the fact that you were putting time in. Work on your game means know what parts of your game need the work. All right, that's part of working on your game. Where do I need the work? Where do I need to improve? Where do I need to get better? And why do I need to get better? And then your work is based on specifically what are those areas that I need to improve at. So any of you have read Malcolm Gladwell in his book Outliers, he talks about this 10,000 hours rule that was introduced by Anders Ericsson back in the 1970s. And 10,000 hours rule, the bastardized version of it is people just know if you put in 10,000 hours of practice at anything, then you'll become proficient and excellent and one of the best in the world. But understand that 10,000 hours rule has a caveat. The caveat to the 10,000 hours rule, it has to be 10,000 hours of intentional practice. Intentional practice, if you're a basketball player, means you're working with a trainer. You know exactly what you're working on. You got a long-term strategy. You know exactly what outcomes you're trying to get to. That's intentional practice. Now, if you're an amateur when it comes to your training and you say, I'm going to do the 10,000 hours thing, and you just go to the gym for 10 hours a day for 1,000 days in a row and say, hey, I did my 10,000 hours. I guess I should be in the NBA now. No, that is being an amateur. An amateur just haphazardly works on their game. So there is levels to this, okay? Meek Mill got a song and said, "Is levels to this shit." So when I say work on your game, that does not just mean go to the gym. It doesn't mean just make a whole bunch of phone calls. It doesn't mean just read a whole bunch of books, just so you can say you read books. It means know exactly why you are doing these things and how each piece builds into the next piece so that you can build a structure. So you can build a high rise. See that building back there? You build that high rise. It has to be a plan. There has to be a strategy in place. You can't just show up to the construction site and just start throwing bricks on the ground and say, well, I put 10,000 bricks on the ground. Where's my skyscraper at? You got to have a plan. All right. So make the plan before you start doing the work. This is what every professional does. This is what a lot of amateurs do not do. So if you want to make your hard work look easy, have a plan in place so that every ounce of effort that you put into your hard work is actually producing a result, not just you putting a whole bunch of effort out that's not doing anything for you, okay? So there's a difference between hard work and smart work, and you want to do smart hard work, okay? Not smart work, not hard work, but smart hard work. Point number 3, topic here today is how to hustle without looking thirsty. Third thing you got to do is you got to treat people as equals. And when I say treat people as equals, I'm talking about the people who may have the opportunity in their hands that you want. So for example, when you're trying to sell a certain product to Mr. Jones, and you know Mr. Jones has all this money, he can buy whatever he wants, and you're trying to make that sale, you got to talk to Mr. Jones as a person that Mr. Jones needs to respect. Now, of course, you got to respect him, but you got to also put yourself in a position where they have to respect you. You never want to put yourself in there. If you want someone to look at you as an equal, as someone who has the right information and the right opportunity and the right whatever it is that you're bringing to the table, you got to make sure that when they see you, when they hear you, when they look at what you're offering, they look at your offerings, they look at your business, they look at the way you present yourself, the way that you walk, the way you talk, that they have no choice but to respect you. Because if people do not respect your position and respect the way that you're approaching, then they're not going to listen to any of your information. They may be polite enough to hear you. They'll sit there and politely let you talk, but they already decided before you even started talking that they weren't going to do anything with you because something about you caused them to not even have the right level of respect for you. For example, when I do professional speaking gigs, I put on a suit. I make sure my suit is pressed. I got me a nice crisp tie. My shoes are nice. My belt is polished. Everything looks good because if I'm going to go into a business room in front of a bunch of people who don't know anything about basketball, they don't know nothing on YouTube. They never read anything that I wrote or anything like that. They don't know me from anywhere. All they know is this dude. They see my name. They know they never heard of me. He's going to talk about some business principle. They're like, all right, this guy's talking about business, or he better look like he's about business. And in that setting, that's the way that that's their perception. You got to know what room you're walking into. Now, you got to, as they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So if you go into a certain place, you got to know how to present yourself to get the people in that room to respect you. That is all part of the hustle. All right, this is all part of the playing the game. So if you're going to speak at a beach event with a whole bunch of people who surf every day, then you might dress how I'm dressed right now. But if you go into a business event with people who wear suits and ties every day, then you should probably put on a suit and tie. And if you go into a room of people who wear, khakis and button-ups, you should still put on a suit and tie so that you look like you're more business than they are, because that way they're going to listen to everything that you say. So this is all part of the hustle. All right, this is all part of the game that you have to understand. So if you want people to look at you as someone who is to be respected, who is to be listened to, you got to present yourself as someone who is to be respected and to be listened to. And understand that people make judgments about you, snap judgments. Michael Gladwell wrote about this too in a book called Blink. People make snap judgments about you just by looking at you. Before you say anything, and while you're talking, they're judging you not off actually your words, but off the way that you say your words. The tonality, the look in your face, your body language, your voice inflections, all of those things are how people are judging you. So you need to take all of that into account based on your audience. Now, again, every audience doesn't respond to the same thing. If you're talking to a room full of basketball players and you're talking about playing ball, you don't need to have a suit on because you don't play ball with a suit on. But if you're talking to a room full of basketball players and you're proposing that you're going to be their financial advisor, you should probably put a suit on, because when I think financial advisor, I'm thinking of a money person, somebody with a suit on who knows their business, not somebody in ball shorts looking like they just got out the gym. Even though that might be who you are, again, you got to learn how to play the game, and the game changes based on the room that you are in. So make sure you are understanding of the game and you make your adjustments along the way. This is all, you can call this political, you can call this hustling, I call it playing a game, you can call it all of those things. It's all about knowing the game. You can't work on your game if you don't understand the game. So all that being said, I'm going to recap these points that I just gave you on how to hustle without being thirsty. First, let me tell you how you can get this book right here in front of me for free. And yes, anybody can get this book for free as long as supplies last. This book is called The Mirror of Motivation. I've written 27 books. This is the first book you should read if you've never read any of my books. If you've never read any of my books, this is the next book you should read, period, in life. Better than any book anybody else wrote, this one right here. Start with this book because I wrote this book as the first step in the 4-book bulletproof bundle. Discipline. Discipline of showing up every single day to do the work. This is all about the being. All right, a lot of people in life understand that in order to reach your goals, you got to do stuff. So a lot of people say, oh, let me go work. And I say, work on your game. So, all right, perfect. I'm going to just do the work. But understand there are levels to the work, as I already explained to you. And before you start working, you got to ask yourself a better question before you start working, which is, what is my plan? What is my strategy? And part of your strategy is, who do I need to be as a person? What kind of energy do I need to have? How do I need to approach life and look at myself in the mirror? That's what this book is about. That's why it's called The Mirror of Motivation. So you can look in the mirror and figure out exactly who you need to be, how you need to approach life, how you're going to deal energetically with the world. Therefore, when you take your actions, you're getting the right results. That is intentional practice, like I talked about with the 10,000 hours rule. It's not just going out there and just saying that you're practicing because you were on the court for 5 hours doing nothing. Make sure you have a strategy and a plan in place. This book is your strategy and plan for who you need to be as a person, which is going to be with you no matter what you do. So go to mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already paid for. All you do is cover the shipping. We ship this book worldwide, anywhere you live in the world. Mirrorofmotivation.com. The book's already paid for, cover the shipping. And after you order that, we're going to make you an offer to get this book, my hardcover, work on your game, put my whole philosophy down to 250 pages right here in this book. And I'm going to give you the mental workbook. I'll make you an offer for this and another book in a bundle as soon as you already have this one. So go to mirrorofmotivation.com to get the book. If you have a question, go ahead and get it ready. Post in the comments. Keep it short and make sure it's relevant to the topic. I'm going to recap these points and I'm going to address the good questions. The topic is how to hustle without being thirsty. Number one, be professionally annoying/persistent. That means you must have a bag full of ways that you can persist with another person, not just repeating the same things over and over again and calling yourself persistent. That is annoying. It's going to get you ignored, and that's what amateurs do. If you want to be an amateur, then you can be amateur annoying. If you want to be a professional, you got to learn different ways of persisting on something to get the outcome, different ways of approaching it. And just because I told you it doesn't mean you know it. You got to learn that. That's part of working on your game, which leads to point number 2, work on your game. When your skill level is high, you can make hard work look easy, but that's only because you put the time in ahead of time. You did the preparation work. You did the work ahead of time when nobody was watching. So when everyone's watching, it looks like it's easy, but it's not actually easy. That's what every professional does. They make hard work look easy, but you have to put the time in to do that. And point number 3, get people to look at you as an equal or as someone who is even better than them, which means you must present yourself in a certain way based on the audience that you're talking to. And every audience is different. Every person is different. So you must do the work the homework ahead of time to know who your audience is that you're talking to. You're going to present yourself to a room full of surfers different than the way you're going to talk to a room full of lawyers. You're going to dress differently with those audiences. You're going to use different languages. Those are things that you need to do that is part of your job as a professional in knowing how to hustle. This is all part of the game, all part of hustling. And if you mess this up, that's because you're messing up in your hustling. You're simping and you're pimping. You got to step your game up. All that being said, anybody got a question, go ahead and post it in the comment section. We're going to address it right now. Facebook, what's going on? If you got a question over there on Facebook, go ahead and post it. But this will be on my Facebook page even when it's over. ARB said something about Luca. That's what's up. Ryan Zaire, what's good? Coach Kev. ARB said, like, people who try to sell you shoes at Foot Locker. Well, some of them are professional, some of them ain't. Andy, what's going on? Underrated point guard, what's up? Coach Kev says, I was thinking about the difference between trying to continually promote yourself and being annoying. Well, they could be the same thing. It's just being professional and being annoying. You could be annoying as long as you're good at it. If you're good at being annoying, people will appreciate it. Arkansas made said something about Shaq. Money May says, last week posted about speaker used to be a drug addict, was subpar to your speaking abilities, or who was that guy? If I want you to know, I would have said his name. Money May says, no, same question. Sports Lover said, how do I get over the girl of my dreams if she ignored my texts and calls? Become a professional. Become a professional at getting in touch with people. Right now, you're not a professional. That's why you can't get over it. You got to step your game up. I would suggest you go to mirrorofmotivation.com, get this book so you can change the way your energy when you approach the world, which will change your energy, the energy that other people have when they see you, including that girl out there. So first of all, you need to work on yourself. It's not about the girl, it's about you. So go to mirrorofmotivation.com. The first step is not external. The first step is always internal. Andy says, all right, I think I addressed every question. So I'm going to give everybody like 30 seconds. If there's one more question, I'll take it, one or two more. Mirrorofmotivation.com. This is where you get this book. This is the first book that you should start with if you have never read any of my books. If you've already read this book, then you should probably read this one. If you already read that one, then you're on my email list. I'll tell you what to do next. If you're on my email list, just read my emails. I'll tell you what to do. Mirrorofmotivation.com. The book's already paid for. All you do is cover a small shipping charge. We ship this book worldwide, anywhere in the world. We got airplanes, envelopes, stamps, FedExes, UPSs, all that. Doesn't matter where you live. We will get this book to you. Mirrorofmotivation.com. Coach Kev said, how long did it take you to learn how to become professionally annoying? It ain't really something you put a time clock on. It's a skill. Skills you continue to work on. It's not like you get good at something and stop doing it. Like if you're a basketball player, you don't get good at shooting and never shoot again and say, well, all right, it took me 3 years. You shoot forever, as long as you want to play. So it doesn't really work like that. What I would suggest you do, Coach Kev, you're trying to learn, is read my book, The Seller's Mindset. I should have had that with me. It is at workonmygame.com/sell, S-E-L-L. Workonmygame.com/sell, S-E-L-L. That's The Seller's Mindset. Somebody asked me about Chris Paul. What the hell I got to do with anything? Alan Jacob 23 was good. So I do these live streams every day. For those of you who don't know, I don't always do them at the same time, but it'll probably be somewhere around this time frame. But I ain't going to commit myself to a time frame. Sometimes it's different. But my Facebook page is Facebook/Work on Your Game. These will be on my Facebook after this is done. And I post these to my feed on IG, but in the IGTV tab. So I don't put them in a full tab. I put them in the IGTV tab. Y'all can watch them there. And this will come out on YouTube, but I'm telling you already, I got videos on YouTube scheduled through like mid-October. So this probably ain't coming out till like Thanksgiving. So if you missed this one, get it on the IGTV tab on my feed or on my Facebook. And make sure you go to mirrormotivation.com. Claim your free copy of this book before we stop giving it away for free and start charging you for it again. Because we got this book on Amazon right now for, I think, $19.95. So if you want to pay $19.95, get it on Amazon. You want to get it for free from us, just cover the shipping. Get it from us, mirrorofmotivation.com. Everybody have a great Monday. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Work on your game.